Hi people! So, the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead, wowzers. This was my favourite episode of season 7. Obviously the premiere was epic in its own way, but I can't exactly say that I enjoyed it because two of my favourite characters got absolutely butchered to death. So the premiere was epic and amazing in its own way, but in terms of my favourite enjoyment was the mid-season finale. I'm sorry if my voice and sound like I'm talking out of my nose. I have my biannual cold. I have one in the summer and one in the winter, and yeah, it's decided to come around now. So yeah, if I sound like a dying cat, then it's because I sound like a dying cat. So this episode jumped around a lot, and we got a lot of loose ends tied up, and then we got a lot of things open and ready for the next half of season 7. So Michonne and the Saviour Lady. So Michonne wanted this Saviour Lady to take her to Negan, and they just go on a little road trip together whilst Michonne is pointing a gun in her face. That's all nice and fun, isn't it? And then basically they come across another kind of, I think, unless I'm totally wrong, but it looks like they come across another settlement, another place where probably hundreds of saviors are living. And the Saviour Lady basically says that there's no hope for Michonne and her group and all the other groups that are against Negan, but she's also kind of saying that there's no hope for anyone really under Negan's rule, and that's a scary thing to think, that this one guy is so, I don't know, for some reason nobody can take him out. His own people are so scared of him. The people who he is actively fighting against are standing up to him more and trying to kill him and trying to defeat him, and his own people don't agree with what he's doing, but they're not standing up for themselves. And it's just so weird how there's so many saviors and there's just this one man, and none of them have had a mutiny against him. It's weird, and I really hope there's a proper explanation as to why and how this one man is able to commandeer all these people and still none of them have successfully overthrown him or killed him. And then the Saviour Lady basically says that she doesn't have any choices anymore, but Michonne does have choices, and one of the choices is that she can kill the Saviour, roll the car away so it gets lost, and just walk back home. And she says that there is a silencer in the glove compartment so that Michonne can put it on a gun and kill her and won't attract any walkers or anyone around or anything. And Michonne kills her. And I think the Saviour Lady said that because of the fact that she can't go back to Negan because she's scared of him. They're working for points and stuff like that. Who knows if she was maybe one of his wives? We don't know exactly what her position was in the Saviour ranks, but she obviously believed, just like the guy who ran away in episode 3, she obviously believed that death was better than living under Negan. So if I was in Michonne's position, I would probably do as the Saviour Lady said and kill her, because living firsthand with the Saviours and what they've done, obviously Michonne's mission and a lot of other people's mission is to take out Negan, but also obviously to take out as many Saviours as possible, because they don't know that the Saviours are not really feeling it with Negan. They think that they're all his trusty servants and they'll do anything to protect him. So one less Saviour means one less person to help against Alexandria and against everybody. But as a viewer, I'm just thinking, why don't you get her to come along with you guys, and you can hide her out for a little bit so that Negan never sees her? I mean, he's got so many people under his rule. How does he even keep track of all of his saviors and his people? If Gregory can't do it with the few people that he has, I don't know how Negan's able to do it. But you know, you never know what these saviors are going to do. So Michonne made her decision. It's not that I disagree or agree with her decision. I just think that whatever she thought was right and best for her group is what she needs to do. And if it meant killing that woman, then that's what she had to do. So Aaron and Rick went on their little trip, and I predicted that they would be successful in their trip, but because of what they had to do, it would just take them a little longer to gather everything and then get back, which allowed everything that went down in Alexandria to go down as it did. And then obviously Aaron and Rick were only just coming back. Not that the two of them would have been able to stop anything that happened even if they were there, but they weren't there in time to see everything go down, especially obviously Spencer talking crap about Rick, because I don't think he is brave enough to do that in front of Rick's face. But we almost lost Aaron twice we almost lost him. Obviously, when I was doing like my predictions on who would get Lucille'd, I said that I didn't think that it would be Aaron because he is the newest character out of the lineup that we had, and a lot of people would think that it was a cop-out because not many people would care so much about Aaron dying. I care now. If there was another Lucille death and Aaron was in the lineup, I would maybe predict that he could be one of the front runners, and I would be exactly like I was with Glenn and Abraham. I would really not want it to be him because I don't know, just this episode really made me like him. So of course when he got pulled into the water by the zombies, at first I was like, he's gonna be okay, like they can't, he's gonna be okay. And he was. I think I knew subconsciously that he was gonna be okay. But then when they got back to Alexandria and those stupid little saviors started beating him up, and Rick couldn't do anything because if he tries to do something, they'll do something to him. It's like a freaking lose-lose situation. I really thought we were going to lose Aaron then. So I'm so glad that we didn't. And he then said the title of the episode, that his heart was still beating, or my heart's still beating. So Daryl's second attempt to escape his cell, the cell and the sanctuary, was successful. He went out the same way as he did before, and all those motorcycles were there, and I just thought, oh, not again. Like, do you not remember what happened last time when you went out this way? Could you not have found another door? Obviously not. But he comes across Fat Joey, who's just walking along, eating his lettuce sandwich, and surprisingly, he is very scared. I mean, Daryl he's not been completely broken, but you know, you can't say that Daryl is 100% fine after everything that's happened to him. He has been broken a little bit and he is a little bit shaken, and you know, by the looks of him, you'd think that you'd be able to take him on. Obviously, Joey and the Saviors don't really know Daryl and what he's been through and what he's had to do, but you know, you'd think by looking at him, yeah, I can take him. But Joey is completely scared. Now, when he was with Negan and surrounded by all the Saviors, he was all cocky and stuff. But when he's on his own, not so much. And Daryl proceeded to do a little Negan number on him and bash his head in with a pipe. Did he need to do that? Did he need to kill Joey? I don't know if there was a necessity to kill him. But Daryl has gone through so much, and it was just a release for him, and he ended up killing him. And again, the same with the Michonne situation. It's one less savior. Yeah, they've got hundreds and hundreds, but if they pick them off one by one, eventually they're gonna even the numbers out. It's a bit like Voldemort really, and the Horcruxes, like he's not going to really realise until it's too late, until it becomes more of an even fight. And I think that was a bit sort of Harry Voldemort-y-ish with Daryl and Negan there, because, you know, what Negan has done to Glenn and Abraham, Daryl has just done to someone who was defenseless. He didn't have a weapon. I mean, he had the gun in his pocket, but he was clearly not going to reach for it or anything. He was clearly, you know, begging for his life, saying that he can walk away. He was going to let him escape, but Daryl still decided to kill him. Again, it's not that I don't disagree or agree with what Daryl did, but I think that in the moment, if that's what Daryl needed to do to escape, to let some anger out, at least it was taken out on a saviour, and at least we are another saviour down. However, Joey had a very big thing that he was doing, not just for the sanctuary, for all the surrounding communities, including Alexandria. There is basically a big walker herd on its way from somewhere, and Joey and some of the saviours have been redirecting them with some alarms or something. They've been creating something, and it's been going off and leading this herd away from all the communities surrounding the sanctuary and around the sanctuary. He was like the head guy in charge of that mission. And Mark, who cheated with Amber, is clearly out of commission right now, but he was also helping Joey, but he skipped out on helping the redirect, as Negan mentioned to Sherry, and was like, you know, he did this, oh, I heard he was with Amber. So that's one guy down from the redirect, Mark. The head guy is down from the redirect, Joey. So has Daryl again kind of put his foot in it and made everybody be in danger now, because this walker herd doesn't have any redirects. Maybe it's coming straight for the sanctuary and Alexandria and the kingdom, and maybe they are going to either help or hinder the big war between the sanctuary and the other communities. So the big scene in this episode was the scene where Spencer and Negan take the pool table for one of the houses and set it up in the middle of the street and start playing pool, and Spencer proceeds to tell Negan that he doesn't like Rick. Once Rick arrived, he lost all of his family. He doesn't think he's a good leader, and he thinks that Negan should kill Rick and then put him, Spencer, in charge of Alexandria, because he would do a much better job at leading the community. I think from the moment Spencer introduced himself formally in this episode to Negan and got all dressed up, brought him the alcohol, Negan's not stupid. He didn't know Spencer's story. He didn't know that once Rick had arrived, Spencer's family proceeded to all die, and the fact that Spencer didn't like Rick. But Negan is not stupid. Negan could see as soon as Spencer walked up to him that this guy is a snake, and this guy is not on Rick's side, but he's more snaky in the fact that he's not outwardly saying it to Rick, but he's coming to Negan when Rick's not there, and he's trying to worm his way in, but by still being with Alexandria. He's not like defecting completely to the saviors. He's just like, I'll be on your side, guys, and I'll help you out, but you do me a favour and you kill Rick. And Negan doesn't like that. Negan respects Rick, he respects Carl, he respects Daryl, because they stand up for what they believe in, and they fight for themselves, and they do what's needed to be done. But Spencer does it in a cowardly way, and he gets other people to fight his battles. He's not going to kill Rick himself because he can't, he's not strong enough. But Negan can do it, but Spencer's going to get Negan to do it. Negan doesn't like being told what to do. And really, in effect, Spencer is like giving orders to Negan right now. He's saying, I'll do what you want me to do, but you are going to do something for me. You do not tell Negan what to do. You do not boss Negan around. So the whole putting the pool table outside, that was just a show. Negan set that up from the very beginning so that he could have an audience to when he did what he did in killing Spencer. And yeah, I predicted it was coming. I knew it was coming. It was still like an amazing scene to watch and a very gruesome scene when the guts came out. But it was very well set up with the whole pool table outside and everybody sort of coming over to have a look. Nobody really knew what was going to happen. Even Spencer didn't know what was going to happen. I think the only person, apart from the viewers, that really knew how that was going to end was Negan. But then something I wasn't expecting to happen was Rosita got so angry that Negan had just done this to Spencer that she proceeds to pull her gun out and point it at Negan. And there is a gunshot. Rosita shoots Negan, or at least she tries to shoot Negan, but Lucille gets in the way. So yeah, Rosita misses. She misses his fat head and gets the skinny little Lucille instead. How she missed Negan's head, I don't know. How she managed to not just have it go in the air, but how she actually managed to get Lucille, again, I don't know. It's kind of poetic justice in a way. You know, Lucille was the one to kill Abraham, so Rosita has essentially killed Lucille. I mean, I don't know why I'm talking as if she's a human. She's a freaking bat. So then Negan picks up the casing of the bullet and miraculously, I don't know how, he figures out that this was like a homemade bullet. I don't know how he knew that, but he knew. And he asks who made it, and Rosita says that it was her because she is willing to sacrifice herself for the good of everybody else. But what I don't think she's realised, even though it was plainly in front of her face when Daryl got up to punch Negan, you get punished for doing these things to Negan. And by having yourself be killed, you know, Daryl when he punched Negan and Rosita when she tried to kill Negan, both of them were willing to accept the consequences of themselves dying as long as they did something for the greater good. But that's not how Negan works. If you do something to Negan, he's not gonna kill you because then you're free and you don't have to see anything else. He's gonna keep you alive and punish somebody else who didn't do anything wrong, because then that's gonna break you. That's gonna make you feel guilty, and that's gonna weigh on your shoulders, and you're not gonna be as productive to your own group as you used to be, which is going to help Negan. And that's exactly what happens. He doesn't believe her, and the fact that nobody is coming forward to say that they were the ones who did it, he asks the girl who is holding Rosita down to kill someone. And at that point, I didn't know if she was gonna do it, and if she was gonna do it, I didn't know who she was gonna kill, because I couldn't actually remember, apart from Rosita, who was actually stood there in that crowd that wasn't a saviour that she could shoot. Because, you know, she can't, I mean, she can, but, you know, could she shoot Carl? You know, would the writers have had that? I doubt it. So, you know, I was thinking, who's there who's like lesser of a character but a big enough character to give an impact? Well, Olivia was the scapegoat. I did not see that coming, and I am actually really angry and frustrated that it was Olivia. I mean, I think I would have been for everybody, but, you know, Olivia freaking slapped the shit out of Negan. She showed him what for, and then next episode, stop killing people. Although I think it would have been hilarious if she'd have just gone like that and shot and managed to shoot one of the saviors in the head by accident. I mean, come on, don't tell me that that could not have happened. Don't tell me that that was impossible. Like, she could have easily done that. In that moment, she just could have just gone bang and shot someone and it could have been a saviour. So we go back to the hilltop at the end of the episode, and Maggie is on watch and she's looking out into the distance, and she obviously sees someone that she is wanting to see because she has a big smile on her face, and she calls Sasha and Enid over. And firstly, because we hadn't seen Daryl and Jesus since Daryl had done a number on Joey and the both of them had obviously left the sanctuary, I thought that it would be Daryl and Jesus coming along. But when they opened the gates, it was Rick and Michonne and Carl and Tara and Rosita and maybe some other people, but I can't remember. But yeah, they came along, and basically Rick tells Maggie that she was right when she said, even just literally just after losing Glenn, when she got up and she said we need to be ready to fight, she was pretty much the only one there that was saying that, even though she'd literally just lost Glenn. And Rick was basically saying, you were right, we do need to get ready to fight because it's time to fight, and we are not standing for that crap from Negan anymore. And then Daryl and Jesus come round the corner, and poor Daryl looks more broken whilst he's back with the group than he did with Negan, and Rick and Daryl share their lovely bromantic hug together. And then Daryl gives Rick his Colt Python back, and I'm sorry, but that is a symbol of Rick Grimes is back. Like, Negan had better watch out, because he saw a glimpse of Rick from season 5 on that video camera. He has never met the Rick from season 5, and he is gonna wish that he didn't have to, because I think Negan is in for a whole world of pain now that Rick Grimes is back. And there is just such an amazing sense of hope at the end of this episode. Like, who knows how this is going to go? Like, they're about to gear up for a war against the Saviors. They know exactly now, they know exactly what they're up against, and they know that it's probably a slim chance of success, but they are still also hopeful because they have each other, and they know that they are fighting for something good, and they are fighting for what is right. So it doesn't matter if there's only a slim chance of them winning. They're still doing what is right in this world, and they are counteracting what Negan is doing, which is wrong and unhelpful to this world. It's already bad enough that they have to fight people who come back from the dead, let alone someone who is already alive, and still an asshole. So thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments below, let me know what you thought of the episode and what you thought of everybody's decisions in the episode, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!